Hello everybody and welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to share with you guys a trip that I took from Seattle to northern Arizona back in mid-June. With me, I took two film cameras, my dad's Canon Rebel EOS Ti and my new Praktica. I took a whole bunch of pictures of many different beautiful places, from the mountains of eastern Oregon to the mountains of Nevada, to the deserts of Nevada, and more. I wanted to share my experience with the masses because these places are so beautiful, they are begging to be shared. I think most people, when they think of Nevada, they only think of Vegas, but there is so much more to Nevada. And after Wyoming, which will always be my #1 most beautiful and favorite state, Nevada is so breathtakingly beautiful. Eastern Oregon is also incredibly beautiful, has a lot of history, and is a really underrated part of the country, in my opinion. Anyways, I hope that you will enjoy this video and this will inspire people to travel themselves to some of these out-of-the-way places. A lot of the places that I shared are towns that are kind of on the decline, so they could do with some more tourism. This is going to be a 2-part video. This is going to be part 1, which is driving there, and then part 2 is going to be driving back through a different route. And with that said, let's get into it. All right, well, I just got my coffee and my bagel sandwich, and I am ready to hit the open road. This guy, his name is Marshall Bear. He is my very special driving buddy. My dad got him for me when I was, I don't remember how old, but anyways, he's been with me a long time. He's a fireman. And I should say, all these CDs for my driving music. I brought most of Eric Gale's CDs, including like this one, Eric Gale's band, his early one, this one, The Story of My Life, let's see, this one, Scritti Politti, Provision, Gap Band, Ain't Nothing But a Party, but you cannot find that one anywhere. Yeah, Eric Gale's Crystal Vision. Eric Gale I really brought like all of his stuff. Let's see. Take 6 Live, 5-star greatest hits, Philip Bailey, Chinese Wall. This one, my absolute favorite, Luis Bonfa, Bossa Nova, Ralph Tresvant, It's Going Down, De La Vamps, Chico DeBarge, Long Time No See, and New Edition, Heartbreak. And then the ones I already have in my car is Spyro Gyra, this one also Luis Bonfa, Nonstop to Brazil, and my cousin's CD. This is my cousin's CD. It's actually really good. I've listened to it all the time. Let me put you guys on, okay, because if you don't know about Eric Gale's, he is seriously the best blues guitar player, the best of all time. If you don't agree with me, at least you can agree he is amazing. Then I went to see him live in concert, and he is so amazing. I didn't realize my dad has like all of his albums. These are all my dad's CDs, by the way. Yeah, he's so amazing. And if you haven't seen Sinners, go see Sinners. That's an amazing movie, and it also talks a lot about blues, the history of blues and the Delta, and yeah. So we are ready to hit the road. Today I am heading to Eastern Oregon. I just checked the weather. It's like 50 and maybe rainy there, which, like, every time I go out there, it's hot. It's a desert, high desert. And I brought like a lot of different clothes, so, you know, I should be fine. But yeah, I have about a 6-hour drive ahead of me, so I'm going to hit the road and I'll see you guys later. The first stop that I made after getting on the road was at the Slaw Creek Rest Area just outside of Yakima. This is my favorite rest area in Washington, that one as well as the Ryegrass Rest Area, which is a little bit further on I-90. Both of them are awesome, really beautiful rest areas. At the Slaw Creek, you have this awesome view of the bridge, and as well, the rest area overlooks this awesome canyon that looks like it has a trail at the bottom. It might be the Palouse to Cascades Trail, I don't know. The view is amazing. I loaded up this film that I got from B&H, and the thing I noticed immediately after scanning it in is it is super grainy. Very, very grainy. The other thing I noticed is that it has a bit of a cooler tint. It leans sort of blue. And for me, I was really happy with this because when I am shooting Kodak Gold or to a lesser extent Fuji 400, I find myself having to tone down the red a lot. And a perfect example would be taking pictures of myself on Kodak Gold often renders me literally bright red. In real life, I'm not bright red, I'm more yellow toned. I didn't take any pictures of myself or anybody else with this film specifically, so I cannot speak for the rendering of skin tones on this film. But I will say, just out of the box, out of the scanner, no editing, it has that sort of like old film look that a lot of people ask for. I see all the time people are like, oh, I'm looking for a film that gives me the old film look, and people recommend Gold 200. No. But if you really are looking for that old film look right out of the box, like super grainy and sort of washed out looking, this is the film. This is the one. For me personally, this is my new favorite film. I don't know about for every application because, like I said, it's very, very grainy. So if I want pictures that are going to be really sharp and clear, I definitely wouldn't use this film. But for an average day, I love it. It's perfect. After I finished with my picture taking at the rest stop, making sure to beware of rattlesnakes, I got back on the 82 and started heading over towards Oregon. During this stretch of the drive, I got to go through my favorite, most beautiful area of Washington State, which is the Horse Heaven Hills area. When you think about amber fields, rolling waves of grain, that describes this area to a T, and it is absolutely so majestic. Well, I'm stopping for gas at my favorite gas station. It's the Space H. It's in Hermiston, Oregon. I always stop here, and gas is always cheaper in Oregon than it is in Washington. So right now it's $4.95 for the Plus, and I paid like over $6 in Washington yesterday, so after getting on the 84 heading east, just past Pendleton, when you go up into the Blue Mountains a bit, there is a viewpoint. This viewpoint looks down on some of the area of the Umatilla Reservation as well as Pendleton and the area outside of Pendleton, and this view is just breathtaking. I know from driving this route many times before that the view coming down from the Blue Mountains into Pendleton is gorgeous. So, armed with 2 cameras, I figured I had to stop at this viewpoint. I had the Psychedelic 400 color film loaded up into my Canon, and in the Practica, I had some black and white film, Dracula 64 from Film Photography Project, a lower ISO film as the 64 implies, and I am really happy with the way that all of these pictures turned out. I will say, pictures do not do this area justice. Really, you should go see for yourself because this view is just breathtaking. I specifically love the pictures from inside the gazebo, where the windows of the gazebo frame the rolling fields of grain. But honestly, I have to say, of all of the pictures that I took here, I think that the black and white pictures were some of my favorites so far of this trip. Having captured a good number of pictures with 2 cameras and 2 different types of film, I got back on the 84 and headed east towards further eastern Oregon. Before Baker City a bit, I saw a sign that says Historical Bridge. I love taking pictures on bridges and of bridges because they have great leading lines. So I decided to get off the highway and take pictures of this bridge. It's in a little place called Perry, and the name of the bridge is the Perry Arch Bridge. There was another car leaving as I pulled up, but otherwise I was there for about 20 minutes and I was the only one there. These pictures turned out so cool because I love railroad tracks. I love bridges, I love trains, and I love railroad tracks. For me, this was the perfect pull-off, and there were some really pretty wildflowers too. Then I got back on the highway and I was almost to my destination, so I just kept on going right through. coming to you live from Baker City, Oregon. Today is a bright sunny day. It was not, in fact, 50 degrees and cloudy when I arrived. I am showered. Today was hair wash day. I don't know why. Does anybody else feel this way after driving or flying? I feel so disgusting. I don't know why. I don't even, like, I could drive from Seattle to Portland, which is 2.5 hours, and by the end, I need a shower. So I'm here safely. Today is a wonderful day because I'm alive. I am safe. Nothing bad happened on the road. The driving was pretty easy. And now I'm pretty hungry, actually. Oh, and most importantly, in Baker City, there are coffee shops open past 7 p.m. Breaking news, coffee shops open past 7 p.m. Now, I live in the city. I live in a major city, and I have to drive at least 20 minutes to find a coffee shop open past 7 p.m. Okay, so Baker City is already up one for me. I am going to go head out, first things first, get a coffee, get something to eat. Maybe there will even be restaurants open past 8. We can hope. And take one or both of my cameras out and take some pictures tonight. I'll see you guys later. For tonight, I opted to drive downtown rather than walking, even though it was only a mile, because I did investigate some restaurants and I chose one that did close at 8. So I did find some coffee, which was really good, and I had a snack that I had brought from home that morning, and I sat at a picnic bench in the park, talked to my friend, had my coffee, and ate my sweet treat. It was wonderful. The park that I ended up at was right next to the Baker City Historic Museum, and the exterior of the Historic Museum was really interesting, and they also had this cute little statue. I walked around there for a bit before heading out to eat dinner, which was not very good. I will say, really, it was not a very good dinner. It was bland and tasteless, and I did not get food poisoning, which is kind of my metric, because a lot of places, you never know. Sometimes you get food poisoning. I didn't get food poisoning, so that was a bonus. But overall, it was not very good. So I will not share the name of the place because I'm not gonna sit here and trash anybody. But yeah, I had dinner that was not very good. After dinner, during golden hour, downtown Baker City is so cool. It's so cool. So I walked around for a bit and looked at the interesting lighting, looked at the interesting buildings. I love to see all these old historic buildings. It makes me so happy. And that's one of the things that I really don't like about living in Seattle is I feel like nothing gets to stay and it's awful. Even things that I remember from my childhood, there's some things that get to stay, but a lot of stuff just doesn't get to stay. And all the development and redevelopment is kind of depressing for me. So it's really fun for me to go to small western towns like Baker City that have all this history that you can see with your own eyes right out in the open.
Good morning. It is 7 a.m. I wanted to get up and take pictures of the sunrise. I didn't set an alarm. I just got up at 6:30 and I'm showered and dressed and ready to go. I don't know if you guys can hear the fan going in the background. That's why I'm using the microphone like really close. I don't know if you guys can hear the fan, but there's no way to turn it off, and it's pretty strong. Oh Lord, it's not hot here, so I really did not want the fan on while I was sleeping, but you know I can't turn it off. So yeah, I slept okay despite that. But yeah, this town is small, and from one end to another of it, at least from what I can see, it's like maybe a mile. So I'm gonna go out, walk around, and I think I'll use the Practica today to take some black and white pictures of the downtown. Right now I'm just gonna head up into this sagebrush that's on the hill outside of my hotel and take some pictures of myself on the sagebrush hill because it is very beautiful.
The view was amazing. I love sagebrush country, although I wasn't being very smart, okay? Because I know that this is rattlesnake country, and specifically my dad has told me before with regards to Montana, he's like, if you're going out like hiking or whatever in Montana, make sure to wear boots because there's rattlesnakes. And I thought to myself before leaving the house, I thought, man, I should bring my cowboy boots. I'm going out to rattlesnake country. I'm going to want to go traipse around in the sagebrush and stuff. Now, I also thought to myself, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. It's going to be too hot. This morning was not even that hot, and I was just out there in my Converse, which was not the brightest decision. So learn from my mistakes, and if you're going to go do stuff like that, make sure you're wearing boots. Be smart. Also, when I developed these pictures, this was before I started using photo flow. I like switched up my whole development process in the middle of developing all of the film for this video. And I think you will be able to see later on, like, it looks much better. Okay. So a lot of the pictures that I took ended up having these awful water spots. Whatever. It's fine, and I feel like I got a good reel out of it. I just posted a silly reel, and I was like, just myself walking around, and I was like, this and an iced coffee will save me. Because yeah, I'm sorry, but traipsing around in the sagebrush and an iced coffee is gonna make me feel pretty good. Okay, well, my bag is kind of a mess. Got kind of dusty and whatever. It's fine. Now I'm gonna go head out and find breakfast and coffee, and there's a riverfront park. I am going to stop every time. I got a picture of this sign, Best Frontage Road, because I just thought it was hilarious. I mean, everywhere has a frontage road, but what specifically makes this one the best? I also thought this picture of the overpass was really cool. I'm pretty sure this is the bad taco time and not the good taco time, because there's two, but I could be wrong. I had looked up what to eat, and I found this place called Sweet Wife Baking. It looked so good, and boy, am I ever glad that I decided to go there. I ended up getting a cardamom bun, a rhubarb oat milk latte, and this breakfast called brisket on a biscuit, and oh my god, it was so good. Everything that I had there was amazing. After breakfast, I really had to boogie back to my hotel because by this point it was already like almost 9:30. I had to check out of my hotel by 11, and I had a 30-minute walk back. I knew I wanted to spend more than 30 minutes at the riverfront. So I went back to my hotel, checked out, took the car, and then drove back and parked at the riverfront. The library there has the most beautiful area with a flower garden and a bridge and all sorts of other cool stuff. It was very nice. I spent a few minutes walking around the riverfront, and then it started getting hotter and hotter, and I was just kind of ready to leave. I had done everything that I wanted to do in Baker City, and so I got back on the 84 and I headed towards Idaho.
Don't make people pass you on the right. Well, I just stopped, got gas and a cup of ice for my cranberry juice at my other favorite gas station on I-84. I love this place because they let cars park here overnight. So if you're on the road, you need somewhere to sleep, you can sleep here. They have showers. I don't remember how much the showers cost. I think they're somewhere between like $7 and $10, and their bathrooms are always really clean. So I actually have slept here overnight a couple times. It's been super safe. It's fairly quiet for a truck stop. I've never had any problems. So when I'm driving through, I always try to come and spend money here because I appreciate places that let cars stay overnight. All right, well, I am up here in Twin Falls, Idaho. I arrived around like 4:30 p.m. and it was a pretty easy drive today. There's just a windy stretch between Baker City and Ontario, Oregon. And the last time I drove it, it was raining and a motorcyclist had spun out and, flipped his bike. Some lady had stopped to help him. As always, once you get into Idaho, the invigorating aroma of the excrement of cows is present on I-84. Some guy was yelling at the hotel staff about the lack of heat. Well, it's 79 degrees, and currently it's after 5 p.m., and it's still 75 and sunny. I have been running into some issues with my Practica, not with the Practica itself. I have rewound it by hand and put it back into the canister, which is duct taped, black duct tape, to try to make it light tight. So I am very sad because I guess I am having actual issues with my Practica because I just tried to load film in it and the viewfinder is dark. I don't know why. And so I unloaded the film because I'm like, well, maybe that's the problem. And nope. So I don't know. I just can't see through the viewfinder. All right, well, it is 8:23 a.m. and I went out to the riverfront yesterday and I stepped outside the car and took a few steps and I felt like stinging on my skin. And I looked down and I was being eaten alive by bugs. I've been to Twin Falls a few times before and I have never in my life had that happen before. And I don't do bugs. So I was going to come back this morning and I brought jeans and a heavy flannel, but I'm just not feeling it. Like there was just a lot of stuff that wasn't going well for me yesterday. Oh, and my Practica is stuck with the mirror up. Now, this is a more than 50-year-old camera, so, to be expected. But yeah, I'm just not feeling it. And I'm not a big fan of Idaho, period. I wanted to come to Twin Falls because I wanted to avoid Boise. I've spent a lot of time in Boise and it's just not for me. Um, I'm just ready to go to Nevada. So today I'm going to be driving to Ely, Nevada, which is about a 4-hour drive. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to do there. Like there's a couple state parks. So I just figured I'll go grab a coffee, grab like some fruit and yogurt from Winco, and just head out because I really just don't want to be in Idaho for any longer. I will see you guys later.
My next stop would be Jackpot, Nevada, which is basically the first town in Nevada that you come across when you're heading south on the 93. I have driven through Jackpot before, but I've never actually stopped. I just remembered all the very cool, bedazzled, fancy casino signs, and I wanted to stop and take some pictures of them. I pulled off into this abandoned lot and then I took some silly tourist pictures in front of the sign. From there, I also had a pretty good vantage point of the main strip. Opticolor 200 in a lot of ways, to my eye, is similar to the Psychedelic 400. It kind of has that washed out look, actually very washed out look. The difference being that Opticolor 200 leans a lot warmer, whereas the Psychedelic 400 leans a lot cooler. And to my eye, the Opticolor 200 is slightly less grainy, but you can take a look and let me know what you think. This is another film that I would really recommend for people that are looking for sort of that old film look straight out of the box. And Opticolor 200 reminds me of the way that a lot of people edit their scans to look like. I personally don't really like editing my scans to look like this, but there's some photographers that I admire that do edit their scans to look like this, kind of washed out and warmer, if you know what I mean. Overall, I like it. I would buy it again with the understanding that out of the box, my pictures are going to look washed out, warm, and grainy. I continued on towards Wells, Nevada, a place that I've stopped for gas before, but I've never actually walked around in. I thought it might be an interesting place to wander around and take pictures. One interesting thing about Wells is that there are 2 brothels there, and the women that work in the brothels are not allowed out of the workplace past 9 p.m. Now, this is not a workplace rule. This is actually a town ordinance, city law, if you will. And this is why we push for decriminalization rather than legalization, because legalization allows for towns to make laws that say certain workers are not allowed in our town at certain times of day. And that's not acceptable. If you will recall back to the beginning of my video, Wells is one of those towns that is half abandoned and has signs up everywhere, practically begging for more tourism. I really liked it because there were quite a lot of abandoned motels there, and just something about the abandoned motels. I know it might be kind of cliche in a way, but I love the abandoned motels. And of course, besides trains, bridges, and train tracks, there's nothing that I like taking pictures of more than an abandoned motel. And to my surprise and happiness, Wells also has train tracks, and I found this cool little train platform. I was able to climb up onto it and take pictures of it. When I ran out of pictures on the Opticolor 200, I put in some Jekyll Hyde 100 that I got from the film photography project. I don't have a lot of notes on this film except to say that it has good contrast and I would use it again. I liked it. There was this little town square / open air museum type of thing with a one-room schoolroom as well as old farm equipment and other just random stuff. That was really cool and very interesting to look at. I love this picture of the road with the mountains in the background, and it sort of looks like the road out of town is leading up to the mountains. I like this picture not because I think it's like the best picture that I've ever taken, but it evokes a lot of emotion for me. It really reminds me of Casper, Wyoming, of the first time that I went to Casper and how excited I was, how beautiful it was. If you don't know, Casper, Wyoming is my very special place. I love Casper so much. And this picture just evokes a lot of nostalgia and happiness for me. I honestly didn't spend that much time in Wells, but what time I did spend, I enjoyed walking around. By this point, it was in the low 90s. And for most of my time in Wells, I had left the car parked and running with the AC on because it was getting kind of hot. I had taken pictures of everything that I wanted to see, and I was just getting hot and I was ready to get going. So I got back on the desolate 93 heading south towards Ely, Nevada. I saw this abandoned motel just across the road from this rest stop, and I had to stop. I loved this rest stop so much. I mean, the Pony Express statue was so cool. And the abandoned motel across the street was really eerie, and it made for great pictures. I did not go inside because there was a lot of broken glass there. I just didn't want to risk it, but I sure took a lot of pictures around it and outside. From here, it was only a little bit more than an hour to Ely. I was hot, sweaty, and ready for some R&R. I am over here in Ely, Nevada now, which is a town I've been to a couple times before. I really like it here. It is a cute little town. The people that I've interacted with have all been really nice. And I got in here early and they let me check into my hotel early, which was wonderful. Ooh, the driving. The drive from Twin Falls to Ely, Nevada is only 4 hours, but it feels so much longer because you're just going through desolate sagebrush country, and it is so beautiful. I mean, the mountains, the sagebrush, it is so beautiful. It's just desolate. Most of it is public federal land, so you can't even call it rural. Like, it's not rural, it's literally just desolate emptiness, except for the animals and plants that live there. It is hot, let me tell you. I had the AC on in the car and still it was hot, 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 hot. So I am happy to be here. I took a shower, I changed out of my sweaty clothes, and there is a railroad museum here. I love trains. I love trains so much, so I'm really excited. I stopped a couple places along the way, namely Jackpot, Nevada, and Wells, Nevada, and I'm going through my film like crazy. So on my way down to Arizona tomorrow, I'm going to have to stop in Vegas, which is the nearest store that you can buy film. I mean, outside of like Walmart or something. But I looked at their selection online, and they actually have a really good selection of all kinds of random films, experimental stuff, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, I've been shooting a lot of film, and I'm going to go out and shoot more tonight. So I think the plan is head over to the railroad museum, get dinner, and then I really need to do laundry. There's a Love's truck stop here, and I've showered there before. If I remember correctly, they have laundry too. So I think I'll head over there and do my laundry tonight. It was so nice to see a memorial to a cat like this. Cats are so special and make such an important impact on people's lives. May they all be remembered and memorialized like this. Okay, so just a quick note on pronunciation. When I was on my trip, I kept saying Ely, Nevada. And then when I got back home, I have some friends that are from Nevada and they said, no. It is in fact not Eli, it is Ely. Let me say that again. Not Eli, it is Ely. This was, of course, very funny to me because that's the difference between Nevada and South Dakota. The first time I went to South Dakota, and I was in a bar in Kadoka, and I said, oh yeah, I'm heading out to Pierre, South Dakota. Pierre, Fort Pierre. And the other people sitting at the bar looked at me and they said, no, you're going where? And I said, the state capital, Pierre and Fort Pierre. And they said, no, it's Pierre and Fort Pierre. Do not go around saying Pierre. That is not a place. Just, cultural differences. Most of the pictures that I took this day in Ely were shot on Fuji 200, and I find myself really liking Fuji 200 and Fuji 400 for that matter. In my experience, they're very warm leaning films. I don't know what people talk about with the green tones and all that. I personally don't really agree with that, but your mileage may vary. I definitely prefer Fuji 200 and Fuji 400 to Kodak Gold. I find that Kodak Gold leans very red, while Fuji tends to lean magenta. I do usually dial down the red tones because sometimes when I first see the images out of the scanner, they look all sorts of strange, okay? And I often have to dial back the red quite a bit to get them looking more normal. But nonetheless, if given the choice between Kodak Gold and Fuji 400, I'm going to pick the Fuji every time. Now, Color Plus is a different story, but that we will address in a later video. I'm heading out to do some long exposures. I've never done this before, but I think with the lights from the casinos, it's gonna turn out really cool. We'll see. I was wandering the streets of downtown Ely, Nevada with my tripod and my Canon EOS Rebel TI. It was very funny because people kept saying, "Oh, I don't want to be caught in your video. I don't want to be caught in your movie. Oh my God, you're out here making a movie." And people, I hate to break it to you, but I don't take pictures of random people. I don't want you in my movie. I do not want you in my movie. I'm here taking pictures of the buildings. Anyways, that was just kind of funny to me because I was there, like I said, with the Canon, and I actually saw it referred to the other day as a quote dad camera. Of course, hilarious to me because it literally is my dad's camera. But yeah, it's by no means a professional camera. I mean, it is a cheap film camera from 2003. At one point, when I was standing outside of the Hotel Nevada taking pictures of the Hotel Nevada, this guy came out and introduced himself to me as the owner of the Hotel Nevada and asked what I was doing. I explained, that I was there taking long exposures, and he seemed pretty excited that I was photographing his fancy hotel. So that overall was a nice interaction. Of course, most of these pictures really did not turn out that well. So many of them are extremely blurry. I'm not going to share them all because they're awful. But hey, you live and you learn.
Okay, my apologies because the lighting in this room is absolutely atrocious. It's only my phone camera is good. It makes up for it. It's fine. I wanted to read tonight. There's literally only one lamp, small lamp in this room. I cannot read with that light. I cannot. It's fine. I did go out. I took a whole bunch of long exposures. I don't have a remote shutter control for the camera. And my tripod is not the most stablest. So some of them might have turned out kind of shaky. I don't know. It's film. I'll see later. Gotta wait till I get home to develop it. Then, once I pulled into my hotel, I was thinking, okay, you know what occurred to me? What I could do? Use the self timer, wait 10 seconds, let the camera stabilize, and then start the shot. You know, why did I not think of that until I had finished for the night? I don't know. But if I do any more long exposures this trip, I will keep that in mind. Anyways, my teeth are brushed and I'm ready to go to bed and gonna head out tomorrow morning, head to Vegas, probably stop for lunch in Vegas. I don't know, maybe then I get to see my family. I'm so excited. Good night. Talk to you guys later.
Good morning. It is about 6:30. I am showered, dressed, ready to go. And they do have free breakfast, but you have to walk down the street to get it. And I had a big dinner last night, so I'm not super hungry, but also I just really want to get going because I know it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, even with the AC in the car. First thing I do when I get to see my grandma is tint the windows in the car because this is really too much. It's too much. So I have a couple pictures that I want to take before I leave, and I'm gonna just grab a yogurt and head out ASAP. As for the Optic Motion 500T, I loved this film. It definitely leans cooler. I think the colors are very realistic. You can tell, like, a perfect example is this picture of the sagebrush. It's not very grainy, it looks really sharp. If I was going to take pictures and I was looking for sharpness and realism, I would use this film over something like the Psychedelic 400 or the Optic Old School 200. But it all depends on the look that you're going for, and there is no one right answer. Even what I look for on film varies from day to day, hour by hour. It varies based on the subject. So there's no one universal best film. I see this question asked all the time. People are like, oh, I'm going on this holiday to wherever. What film should I take? And if you ask 20 different people, you're going to get 20 different answers. And people are very divided on this subject, okay? So I definitely think that there's a place and time for very grainy, washed out looking film, and a place and time for realistic looking film. And before anybody comes for me and says, oh, why does the film stock matter? You can just change all this with editing. Yeah, you can. But at the end of the day, you are working with the basic characteristics of the film that you have. And when you're shooting with a really grainy film, you cannot just all of a sudden make that grain go away. So it actually does matter what kind of film you shoot, and you cannot fix everything with editing. All right, I am gassed up. I've removed the bugs from my windshield so I can see good again. I got some coffee. Whew, we are ready to go to Vegas. This day was a very sad day. I saw on the menu at the coffee shop a turkey bacon sandwich, and I got so excited because I don't eat pork. So I saw turkey bacon and I thought, oh yes, finally a breakfast sandwich that I can eat. It has turkey bacon. Now, then I got the sandwich, and in fact, turkey bacon did not mean turkey bacon. It meant turkey and bacon. I just planned to eat at In-N-Out in Vegas as my breakfast. I had to just eat the fruit I had in the car for breakfast. What a sad day. Sad, sad, sad. Okay, I will be honest. I was just looking around the In-N-Out like, how do people live here and deal with this level of heat regularly? And it's June. This is not even like the hottest part of the year. And there's like a lot of people that live in Vegas. Like a lot. And people keep moving. Vegas is growing. Whew, not for me. No, not for me. have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. So as I said earlier, I literally changed up my whole development process in the middle of developing all of the film for this video. And on top of that, it took me a long time because I shot 3 different types of film: C41, normal color film, black and white film, and then some ECN2 process film. So I had to wait for all of the various chemicals to come in and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But anyways, I was using the Patterson tank in those plastic reels, and it just was really not working out for me. I would ratchet the reels, and oftentimes, the film would just not be loading, and then it would load, but like only up to a certain point. And then so I would lose like 5 or 10 frames because the film would be stuck together. And it was just not working out for me. So I ended up ordering a bunch of steel reels. Actually, I got a really good deal on them. I think like $25 for like 9 of them from Etsy. And that, along with photo flow, changed my life. I will say again, photo flow changed my life. I really didn't think I needed to use photo flow, but really it helps so much with keeping the dust off. So if you're considering developing your own film, photo flow really, really helps with the dust. The steel reels do have a bit of a learning curve, and I feel like I'm not 100% perfect at using them yet, but it's a much better process than using the plastic ones for me. I also finally spent $10 on the little air blower thingy, and that as well is a game changer. It's a game changer, okay? As well, I invested in some anti-static cloths, which again changed my life. I saw on Reddit somebody recommended them, and I literally ordered them the next day. They work so well. They're so wonderful. I had got this little camera off Amazon hoping to use it for videos, and I used it to film a lot of the footage for this video, and it was awful. So if you felt like a lot of the footage in the video was shaky and not the best, it's because I used this camera, and of course, like, I didn't realize it was like that until much later. So once I realized that, I did end up filming a lot more with my phone, because my phone films great video, honestly. I just have an iPhone, I don't know, 13 or 15, I don't know. Anyways, my iPhone works great. This thing, crap. All that sort of technical stuff aside, I had a great time making this video. I love solo road tripping. I love going to random out of the way places. And I'll be honest, like, I road trip a lot. I used to travel dance all the time. I don't do that anymore, but I still take a lot of road trips, and I pretty much just go from point A to point B. I never stop at any viewpoints or little tourist traps or whatever. So it was really good for me to have a goal of filming this video and taking pictures for this video, because that sort of got me out of my comfort zone. I stopped at viewpoints, I stopped at little tourist traps, I stopped at wherever, got out of the car, walked around, and got to see a lot more of the country that way. It was wonderful. That drive from Idaho through northern Nevada is one of my all-time favorites in the entire country, but I know a lot of people positively hate that drive. I have friends that just did that trip. They hated it. I've talked to many other people. They say that is the absolute worst drive in the country. It's horrible. It's a miserable experience. Never again. But for me, I love it. I've done it in the winter. I've done it in the summer. And I'll probably do it again. Also, just to give you guys a little sort of cost breakdown, I spent around $120 on gas to get down there. And yes, I do. I drive a hybrid. I get like 50 miles per gallon, okay? And I actually have done this trip before where I didn't stay in hotels at all. I just camped or slept on the roadside for free. Like in Nevada and northern Arizona, there's a lot of federal land. So you can just pull off into like one of those wildlife viewing areas. You can sleep there, or you can just search for like federal land and you can just sleep there for free. So, all that to say, anybody that looks at my video and thought, oh, wow, what a really expensive trip, like, no, I have done this trip for very cheaply before. Hotels were my biggest cost. Gas at this point is a very small cost for me when road tripping. If you have a truck or an SUV, gas is probably going to be your biggest cost, but for me, it's minuscule. This video took a long, long time to put together, mainly because I have to do everything myself, and it was a very long, long video, okay? And yeah, it took a long time. But with that said, I hope that you got some enjoyment out of this video, and drop me a note in the comments. What was your favorite town that I visited? And is there anything along the drive that I didn't do that you know about that you think might be interesting to do next time? Also, stay tuned for part 2. I actually have 3 more videos in the works from this trip. 2 of them are going to be shorter videos, and then 1 driving back is going to be another long video. So I hope that you will join me for those videos too. With that, I will be signing off, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and hopefully you will subscribe as well. Goodbye!